Hello, my gorgeous souls. I'm so excited for this podcast episode because I love this time of year. I love the time between Christmas and New Year's. I'm seeing a lot of memes on the internet about confusion from people. What do you even do this week? It's such a nothing week. But for me, it's so jam-packed because I'm reflecting on the past year. I'm planning the next year. I'm listening to all my favorite teachers and their kind of take on things, their reflections. I just listened to a podcast, which I'm about to talk about, from Elevate the Globe, and they talked to, I think his name is Remington Donovan, and he's a numerologist, and he was talking about the numerology of next year. So I love doing all that kind of stuff, and I've, of course, been doing a ton of journaling. It's just, I love this week. And I'm so excited to talk to you about reflecting on 2021 and moving into 2022 and making 2022 your best year yet. After a couple of crazy years, a lot of people are feeling that 2022 is going to be really amazing. It's got some really beautiful energy, very, very potent, and a lot of excitement coming. So I'm going to chat to you briefly about that episode that I listened to from Elevate the Globe, and I highly recommend that you go and listen to it too, because it's a great one. But I'm going to sum it up really quickly. It's an hour-long episode. I've just got a couple of points that I want to mention about the numerology of last year and of the coming year too. So, according to numerology, last year, 2021, was a number 5 year. You add the digits together and that's how you get it. And number 5 is disruptive. It's all about shaking things up. It's a teacher here to bring us lessons. And so a lot of people experience that this year in 2021. Lots of things changing and shifting, and obviously in the world as well, it's been very disruptive. 2020 was a 4 year, which was a kind of do nothing year. And Remington Donovan was saying that he couldn't have imagined that that would have manifested in worldwide lockdowns, but that's a 4 year, which is super interesting. Now, 2022 is a 6 year, and it's a year of balance, of centering into yourself, of connecting to something divine, setting prayers, setting intentions, of meditating and connecting into yourself. It's a year to really ask for what you want and to set intentions because they will manifest. And that is super exciting. Now, I found it really interesting hearing about the balance aspect in consistency and how it can either manifest as kind of falling into a rut and being at the mercy of fate and kind of letting life happen to us, or it can be showing up and step by step creating destiny. So it's about finding something to be consistent with so we can build towards that destiny rather than falling into that fate and that rut. So to me, that sounds pretty exciting. I'm not worried about the rut thing, because if you find yourself in a rut, it's just about bringing awareness and attention to it and then being intentional and making sure that you're setting those intentions. What do I want? What am I going to do from here? What outcome do I want to see? So that's the numerology of it. Super cool. I love hearing about the astrology too. I haven't yet found an astrology podcast for this year, but I'll have to find one. It's a little more chill this year, ending 2019. Because it was the end of a decade, there were so many podcasts to listen to and so many predictions for 2022. And I saw a lot of them unfolding in ways that we couldn't have ever imagined. So I always find it interesting to look at these methodologies and what they're predicting about the year and then watching it unfold. Super, super interesting. So looking back, let's get back into our lives now and how you've experienced this year. Looking back on your life, can you ever truly predict what will happen in your life, how things will unfold? I saw an Instagram post the other day that said about life going wrong in the blink of an eye, and how we all know that that can happen. We all believe that life can go wrong in the blink of an eye, like crazy things can happen in life. So why don't we believe that life can go right that quickly? Often people have a limiting belief that it takes time for things to go right in life and it takes a lot of effort and work, but it really can just happen just like that. Amazing things can happen for you. So setting those intentions is really important, and being open to the possibilities in life. Call it in from the universe and say, have this overarching intention that things can go right for me right now in an instant. I really love, I'm pretty sure it was Rhonda Byrne in one of her books. She's the lady who created The Secret. She said that she wakes up each day and thanks the universe for the beautiful blessings and surprises that are going to come that day. Or maybe it was the good news or something like that. Thanks for the good news today, universe. That's the kind of thing I'm suggesting that you could do this year, is being open to the universe bringing beautiful blessings to you every day that you just can't imagine. Making your life go right in an instant. Fixing problems in an instant. We know that problems can pop up in an instant, so maybe they could just dissipate in an instant. A lot of it happens, a lot of things re-manifest in our life because we have attachment to them, because we're used to them happening, so we expect them to happen more. And this can show up in relationship dynamics, it can show up in chronic illness, it can show up in negative habits, and it can show up in self-sabotage for things like business. So again, set those intentions. What outcome do you want? Even if you can't fully believe it right now, maybe you can start to believe it. You can set an affirmation and say, I am starting to, or I'm choosing to believe. I'm choosing to believe that my children can be super cooperative every day and we can get along together. Or I'm choosing to believe that I'm now confident to show up in video and show up in my business. Whatever it is for you. So I want to know, and I want at least you to know, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you calling in for 2022? What would you like 2022 to look like? What's your vision? If anything could happen, if you had $1 billion or you had a magic genie, what would you want your life to look like? And more importantly, how do you want it to feel? I think it's Danielle Laporte who does the desire map, I think it's called, and she chooses a word. A lot of people do the choosing a word, but I'm suggesting that you read her book if you like this kind of thing. Choose a word to describe how you want to feel in 2022. And also, I'm going to take you through a couple of goal setting techniques, and I'm kind of really have a two-sided approach to this, a bit of a dichotomy, but they work together. So on one side is the how do you want it to feel, and you can set this overarching intention of how you want 2022 to show up for you, how you want to feel every day and overall throughout the year. And on the other hand is, what do you want it to be the year of? Do you want it to be the year that you write your book, or the year that you find the love of your life, or the year that you finally move into your dream home? Because we often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. We think we have like 50 different goals that we want to happen in our life and so many different intentions, and that we want to throw them all into the new year. But when we do that, it's just so many goals. It can be really overwhelming. We can spread ourselves thin in terms of energy and time and focus. So with things like meeting the love of your life and manifesting your dream home, for me personally, I like to write that all down. I believe you can manifest it all, but when we're setting our goals and intentions, we really want to focus in on what's really, really important and going to make the most difference for us, so that we can create this very potent energy and help them to manifest and create them and take the steps and inspired action that we need to take. So that's what I believe, is focusing on a maximum of 3 things, because that's kind of what the brain can handle. You don't need to just make it 1. You can make it 3 if you like, because we want it to be exciting as well. But if it's any more than that, it's kind of like chasing 2 rabbits at once, if you've heard that tale. If you chase 2 rabbits at once, you catch nothing. So we're going to focus on the 3 goals. The way that I suggest that you do this is you look at the different areas of your life. So you can look up on the interwebs a wheel of life, which is a great life coaching tool, and it has a little circle like this, and it's cut down into a kind of pie chart, and it has the different areas of your life. So career and finances, relationships, family and friends, fun and rest and leisure, body and health. Let me try and remember the others. Probably home and environment. Some of them have 6, some of them have like 13, so there's a big difference. Now, when you get to the end of this episode, I am going to give you a link, or maybe the link will be in the show notes, for a journal that I created a couple of years ago, and I'm revamping this year for you guys to reflect and do some of these exercises. But if you just want to listen and do it yourself, that's fine too. But think about your life and which 3 areas, if they improved, would have the most impact on your life. So when you do that wheel of life, it asks you to score each on a scale of 0 to 10. And then you can actually see and have that visual of which things need the most improvement and which things are going really well. But you also probably intuitively know some things that are maybe you might be struggling with at the moment, or they bring you a challenge, or they zap your energy, or if you, not necessarily a problem, but if they did improve in your life, or if you achieved a goal or manifested an intention, this would really change your life. So that's what we want to look at. For me, it's my energy. I'm looking to have consistent energy within my body on a daily basis. It's my home and kids, so living in harmony in my house, hopefully having a little bit less mess and having some good systems in place so that my kids and I can have a really great relationship and have lots of fun, rather than have all this. At the moment, mess is a really big thing for me. My kids are super active, they're homeschooled, and yeah, they're young enough to move lots of things around but not pack them up afterwards. So I'm ready to live in a really harmonious house and have really harmonious relationships with them. And the last thing is my business and having an impact and sharing and learning, and then sharing the things that I learn, because that lights me up. And if you know human design and that phrase I just used, I'm a generator. So it's really important for me to do things that light me up rather than things that drain my energy, like that mess in my house. And I'm all about energy. That's kind of my thing for the year. 2022 for me is going to be the year of up-leveling my energy. So in each of those areas for you, which goal would have the most impact? I really love Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a great book to read. He really makes habits simple and easy. He talks about making your habits really easy for you to do, so that if you can even squish it down into 2 minutes, just that 2-minute action. So this blew my mind and really helped me, because one of my goals for 2022 was to be more flexible. And I was going to do that with yoga. And then at some point during the year, I fell off the bandwagon with doing that yoga. I think maybe I got bored, because I really, if you've read Gretchen Rubin's books, I really appreciate novelty and change. That helps me be really engaged with things. So I either got bored and then switched it to a different exercise, and then switched that, or my kids started sleeping in. I can't remember, because I know that sometimes our routine shuffles a bit and it can be tricky. It can be tricky. But with this tip from James Clear, he said make it 2 minutes. So for me, doing yoga every day, I instead of focusing on, oh, I need to sit down, I need to do this yoga class every day, it's I'm going to go and sit on my yoga mat. And I link that in to waking up. As soon as I wake up, I go and sit on my yoga mat. As soon as my kids are asleep, I go and sit on my yoga mat. Once I'm on my yoga mat, I'm going to do the yoga. But I don't need to use my willpower of my brain to do the yoga. I only need to use it to take that step of getting onto the mat. So I really love that. We're going to talk about goals, practical goals like that, where you will take an action. And we're going to talk about intentions as well, the outcome that you want, that you kind of leave more up to the universe. So in terms of that numerology that we talked about, it's the year of consistency. And through that consistency, that's how things will grow. You don't need to have grand visions. You can kind of plod along step by step, brick by brick, building your destiny. the outcome might be something grand, and that's where we'll talk about intentions versus goals. So I put these examples here. With consistency, maybe it could be that you want to record and publish a podcast every week, or maybe you want to walk 10 minutes a day. Now the outcome might be that you want to increase your following, increase your subscribers, increase your audience. And for walking, it could be weight loss. But you don't show up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to do weight loss now. You take the action to achieve the outcome that you want. So you could write that down as the intention. So the intention is to lose weight. So set that intention for the universe to help you and guide you through that, and co-create with you, because it's so much easier when the universe is helping us rather than when we just do physical action. But the actual goal is for you to show up and just do the thing, do the walk every day. Don't show up and say, okay, I need to lose this weight. Like, you know, with the mind power alone, it's not really how it works. So you show up, you do the work, you trust that the universe is going to help with the rest. For example, in 2021, my goals were, I'm pretty sure, because I can't find it amongst all my stuff, but I think it was to blog every day, which was an unrealistic goal. If we set goals that are too big, or not quite aligned, then they're not going to happen. So that wasn't quite aligned with me, and that was to go from doing nothing to blogging every day was probably a large expectation. I could have done it. I could have carved out time in the day and done that, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do, because my second goal was completing my online academy, and that was a huge undertaking. I think in 2020, I had created all the content, all the slides, and then by the start of this year, I was revamping them because I hated the colors. I got really caught up in perfectionism, and I actually had a lot of growth through that experience as well. And this year I did it. I completed my slides. I did all the filming, like 10 hours worth of filming. And I do full-time homeschool my kids, so I had to manage that as well. And then I had a bit of a break where had some internal growth and some shifts and things like that. And then recently, like the last couple of weeks, I think since November, could even be early December, I completed that. I got it all online. I taught myself how to use Kajabi. I uploaded all the things. I made all the thumbnails, and I also used Kajabi to launch my podcast too. So I completed that goal, absolutely. And my last one was to get flexible. So getting flexible, I didn't quite achieve that goal. I wanted to be able to do like a complete forward fold and be super flexible. That was potentially an unrealistic goal. But the thing is, even though I can't do that right now, and even though I fell off the wagon in the middle of the year there with this as well, it was winter time, guys, so maybe winter time affects my goals a little bit. We'll see how I go this year. But even though I can't do that yet, I am more flexible. I am getting there, and I am cultivating a daily practice, and that's where I feel achievement, is that now I'm showing up, I'm doing the thing. And it's been since the 27th of October, I've done yoga every single day. And reading that Atomic Habits book really helped with that. So those were my goals. And sometimes, like with the getting flexible thing, I'm not sad, I'm not mad, I'm not upset that I didn't achieve it this year, because now looking back, I realized that I overestimated it. Because there's another saying that says we overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And if I show up every day doing yoga, in 10 years, I'll probably be able to do that thing. I'll probably be super flexible. I'm not upset that I didn't get to do that this year. And same with the blogging, I realized it wasn't aligned. So I'm all for changing your goals and changing your intentions as you go through the year. And I fully realized, looking back, that this was the year that I created my academy, that I completed it and got it ready. I had big dreams for it, where I just wanted to skyrocket and have it launched and have all my members and all the big things. But now I have this perspective that you just have growth. that's the important thing, is to have growth and move further towards what you want to create. Always taking those steps, because taking those steps is what feels like progress. It doesn't feel good when we sit back and do nothing, but if we can look back and say, hey, I showed up and I took action and I did the things, that feels great because you've showed up for yourself. I'm just going to have a drink of water. So that's kind of on the tangible level. Those were the things that I wanted to do and create. We also want to focus on the energetic outcome. So think about your 3 goals that you want to achieve, and then think about why. Because anytime we have a desire, it's because we believe it's going to bring us something internal. We believe it's going to help us feel something, take us to a particular energetic state. So think about that energetic outcome, and it can be really helpful to focus on it as well. So for my 3 goals, the first one being energy and feeling really good in my body and getting fitter and healthier, that's energy. I want to feel energetic. Energy is really important to me. The second one is harmony, feeling harmony in my household, with my house and my kids, and the way we operate in here together. And the last one's expansion. Learning things makes me feel so expanded, and then teaching them and sharing and inspiring others helps me feel so expanded and fulfilled, and I know that I am living my purpose when I do that. Those are the 3 energies, and sometimes when we just look at our goals, it can just look like words on a page, or just look like a thing, and we're not always connected to them. Or we can start to feel disconnected from them sometimes, and that's when we can fall off the wagon. But if you're connected to the feeling, that's when you're connecting into your why, the why you want to do it, and it makes it really, I'm a manifestation coach. When you connect into these feelings, you're bringing the energy into it, you're embodying it, I do this movement with my hands because it makes you feel it in you, expanding from you, instead of some goals on a page that are outside yourself and you're looking at and you're trying to enforce from outside into yourself. That's kind of how I'm feeling it as I describe this. Connecting into those feelings is what helps you create that consistent action. It helps you, like with doing my yoga and doing my exercise, I know that I'm showing up to create that more energy. I'm not just showing up to do the physical action. I'm not just showing up to do the yoga. I'm showing up for that feeling, and connecting into that feeling is what stops us from just doing mindless action and doing things that may not work because we think with our minds, we think this action will help me feel this thing, and we're kind of doing it the wrong way. We want to think about how we want to feel and what action will help us to feel that. By connecting into those feelings and connecting into that why, it also helps us get back on to the wagon faster. So for me, falling off the wagon doing yoga, your brain starts to make excuses for you and say, oh, well, I don't really need to do this. Did it actually make me feel that good? In the evening it feels really good to just watch TV and veg out and not actually do it. And kind of tricks yourself, and your brain shifts you into this other reality, because brains are really, really clever. It takes you into this other reality where actually yoga's not important, and do I really want to be flexible anyway? What's the point? These other things are really shiny and attractive. Go and do them instead. I find that whole concept really fascinating because I've watched my brain do it so many times, especially cultivating new habits and things that maybe don't give the brain that quick burst of dopamine. So but shifting back into the habit of reading books in the evening. And then if I watch television sometimes, it starts as intentional. Like I want to relax, I want to zone out, and I want to give my brain a bit of a rest. And then if it happens for a week maybe, then it starts to become just an automatic thing in the evening. Oh, I'm just going to watch TV instead of the book reading. And then if I try and shift back to the book reading, my brain says, it's really hard work to read a book, especially in the evening. Like, you're tired, you should just go and watch television. And then the effort it takes to actually say to my brain, no, tonight I'm going to push past that and I'm going to read. And then when I remember that I love reading, and my whole brain just switches back to, no, this actually really nourishes me. It's just super interesting to watch that shift, especially with things like television because it's kind of addictive, or like doing exercise because the brain likes things to just be easy. So obviously just sitting and relaxing is easier than doing exercise. But when I show up and think about the why, and I actually want to feel really great. I want to feel flexible in my body and kind of maneuverable and have that energy, that's why I'm showing up then. I sit on the yoga mat not because I'm doing the action, but because I'm cultivating the feeling. And I really love a podcast by Lauren of Love. She talked about discipline versus devotion. And I highly recommend that episode because it shifted a lot of things for me, because when you're showing up devoted to your body because you are cultivating this energy and this feeling, it's so much easier to show up in that way rather than discipline is this energy of forcing yourself to do something for a certain outcome. I find that super interesting. Highly recommend that. So those are kind of the two aspects on your goal setting, is think about the tangible things you want to achieve and think about the why, what you want to feel. With that feeling, we don't want to reverse engineer our goals too much, as it can strangle the universe. So not even just with the feeling, but the tangible goals. If you want 1,000 followers this year, it's good to take some action. Think about your action step that you're going to consistently show up with in 2022. But we don't want to force ourselves into thinking that this is the one and only way that this can happen, because that strangles the universe and it takes it from all these infinite possibilities into this one possibility that you have in mind. If you set an intention and say that this one path is how I'm going to create 1,000 followers, you're telling the universe not to do all the other things. You're telling the universe to only do it through this avenue. And it's like taking all this energy and putting it through like a teeny tiny funnel or hose where only a little bit can drip out at a time, and it could take a lot longer through that path. That might not be the universe's idea. So that's why I kind of believe in setting these intentions, the things you want to manifest this year, and then your action steps, how you're going to contribute and walk step by step along with the universe to help physically create this. And then of course, if your intuition tells you to shift throughout the year, then that's great too. And definitely use your intuition in setting those action steps as well. So I guess I'm kind of saying to set 3 intentions. You've got the energy of how you want to feel, you've got the intentions of what you want to manifest, and then you have your goals that you want to show up and do. And I think that they can all work in together, because if you write them well, they all just kind of link in. So I've got that I want to be fit and healthy, energetic and flexible. And then just next to it, I say I'm energetic and flexible. And I have like an affirmation for my feeling that I want to feel. And so I can look just quickly at the feelings and link into them, or I can look at my action steps, or I can look at my intentions if I'm feeling like I want to focus on the manifestation of them. If that feels too much for you, just tweak it however way you want to do that. Alright, I also wanted to say you can't know what the year will bring. So like I was saying about things can change in an instant, for bad or good. Focus on the good. Expect that to happen, and it will. With setting our action steps to manifest these big intentions, you can't know what the year will bring. So for my intention with being in harmony in the home, I haven't set my action step yet. What I really want to do is become more mindful and maybe set some systems in place. But I don't know what the universe will bring me, or what might change this year, or how my kids might mature and change, or how something I do might change how they respond, or whatever. And in business as well, growth can be exponential. So if you have a goal to manifest $100,000 this year, if you have your intention, and then you have your action step of doing your podcast every week. Maybe the first week you'll get 1 follower, then the second week you might get 5, and then the third week you might get 30, and then the next week you might start getting, 100 subscribers a week, and by the end of the year you might have 10,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what your intention is, but in my experience, whatever intention you set to manifest, that manifests, even though it's super unlikely. I remember one year I set an intention, a financial goal that was, I didn't have an income that was going to reach that goal. That's like if I added up how much I could physically save to achieve that goal, it was unrealistic. But things happened throughout the year that like manifested smack bang on that amount, and I'm a specific manifestor, so that's how things work for me. That's a thing in human design, which I might maybe teach in another video. I think I mentioned it in 1 or 2. So I'm a specific manifestor, and I manifested the exact amount, and it came down to like, in December the last little amount came in, like a surprise amount of money, and midway through that year I sold a business which I hadn't intended on selling, but I sold it, and that contributed to it too. And then a few unexpected things happened, and then bam, I manifested the amount that I had intended to, but I could never have guessed how it would happen at the start of that year. And that can happen through business as well. So if you say you want to manifest 6 figures in your business, then your first launch might be like $200. Your second one might be $2,000. Your third one might be $10,000, and then your next one might be $50,000 or 6 figures. Growth is exponential like that. It's like a snowball rolling through. Same thing with yoga. If I show up for yoga every day, when I first start, I feel really inflexible. And when I started in October, that's how it was. Like, can't touch my toes because I haven't been doing stretches. And then like 2 weeks in, it was like something had just given way. Like all that inflexibility, that stiffness was suddenly gone. And I found that it was just so much easier. I don't know how to describe it other than that stiff energy was just completely gone. And suddenly I was doing these stretches with so much more ease. And I wasn't super flexible, but I had pushed through some kind of barrier. And I could suddenly see that, wow, if I show up for yoga every day, there's going to be this exponential growth where I'll get more and more and more flexible, because the more flexible I become, the more flexible I become. And you could bring in that affirmation that the better it gets, the better it gets. Or every day, in every way, my life gets better and better, because it's growing, it's building on itself. So be really open to the things that can happen to you this year, or for you, because that's a key difference. Anything can manifest. Anything is possible. All you need to do is show up. Take the little action steps. Embody the feelings. And when you're feeling the feelings, you can start to embody the kind of person that you need to be to create and manifest those intentions. It's all about the energy. It's all about the embodiment and acting as if from that really energetic level. So I wish you all the best for 2022. I truly believe it can be your absolute best year yet. Every single year we learn and grow and change as people, and sometimes you don't realize exactly how far you've come until you look back. And I actually want to read you a quote. This is a quote. I need to acknowledge Marie Forleo. She sent an email the other day about 2022 and reflecting on 2021, and she said, she mentioned Margaret Wheatley. Margaret Wheatley said, "Without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful." And that's like what I believe in life happening for you versus life happening to you. With manifestation, a lot of people just let life happen and they don't think to set intentions. And when you don't set intentions, or you're not consciously creating your life, life just happens willy-nilly. As I like to say, life just happens willy-nilly. It happens to you. Things just happen around you because you haven't set this intention and told the universe, this is what I want. This is the outcome I want. And when you start to become the conscious creator of your life and and set those intentions and manifest your life on that big, larger scale of setting these goals, but also on your everyday level of, hey, this situation's come up, what outcome do I want from this? Focusing on the thing that you want, focusing how you want to feel for that day and setting intentions so things unfold as you desire and you can feel how you want to feel. That's when life opens up for you and starts happening for you. And I can't recommend that enough. As someone who went from living in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment, second-hand furniture, manifesting all these problems, to living in a dream 4-bedroom, 2-living-room, 2-bathroom home, huge yard, upgraded my car, upgraded all my furniture, upgraded my finances, through manifestation alone, I can't recommend it enough, guys. With the mindset shifts, the energetic shifts, and just allowing it to happen, consciously creating my life and learning how manifestation works so I didn't manifest the problems anymore, so I could allow my finances to expand. It just changes your life, and that's what I wish for you in 2022, is that you consciously create this year as you want this year to be, as you want it to look like. And of course, allow it to unfold how it unfolds. Allow the universe to put that creative flair on things. Like, you're kind of the director of the movie, but the universe is the one who brings you all the suggestions and ideas. I like that metaphor. I imagine the universe in like this big flamboyant costume, and they're the creative director or something, but you're the one who makes the decisions and sets the intentions. That's what I want for you in 2022. So I keep saying highly recommend. I highly recommend. I have a little gift for you. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It is a reflection journal so that you can be really conscious about how 2021 has gone and what you want to create in 2022. It's nice and simple and easy because that's what I believe in. It's just some reflecting, some intention setting so that you can intentionally go into the next year and consciously create the things that you desire. So I've got that there for you. And if you want to learn more about manifestation, check out my other videos / podcast episodes. At the moment, they're all the same. Everything you find on the podcast, you'll find on YouTube and vice versa. I think, pretty sure they might be, I'm pretty sure they're both on both. You can learn more about manifestation, and also I'm super excited this coming year to open up the Energy Empress Vortex so that I can go on a deeper dive with you with manifestation, with energy, with creating your life on that deeper level every day, creating how you want to feel and being aware of your energy and being aware of what you're manifesting so that you can create your absolute dream life. I'm super excited to open the doors to that in February. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for 2022, you guys, and I wish you all the best. I'll talk to you in one of the next episodes, or I might even see you in the Energy Empress Academy. As soon as you hit stop on this, as soon as this ends, go and download that journal and do some reflecting on 2021 and set those intentions for 2022. Set those intentions with your heart open and your mind open to all the possibilities, because anything could happen. Who knows where we'll be at the end of 2022, the start of 2023. Good luck. My blessings.